ready. Check your reality.
The comments and opinions of this program may be considered offensive. Viewer discretion is advised. Uncommon Sense is now available for your listening convenience on Anchor.fm. Anchor allows our podcast to be available on more platforms. Click a link in the description below to connect to your favorite listening app and stream Uncommon Sense today. Thank you for your listening and supporting our show. If you haven't already, hit subscribe and lay a smackdown on that notification bell to get notified anytime we post new content. Thanks again from your hosts at Uncommon Sense.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense. I'm your host, Butch. And we got Billy in the studio today, and we got some topics that we're going to talk about. And hopefully you'll listen and you'll make up your mind for yourself.
Pay attention!
Pay attention. Hey, you gotta pay attention, because if you don't, I'm going to send Guido over to your house. He's going to break both your fucking kneecaps, you understand?
Alright, good fella, calm down. No, I'm just kidding. Those are the most common movies to quote, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got your Goodfellas, you got Scarface.
Scarface. Say hello to my little friend.
I'm telling you, I'm going to go paint that billboard.
Oh, yes.
Second Amendment, say hello to America's little friend.
Hey, if you can come up with the design, we'll see how much it costs to put it up there.
Oh, that's our first merch item.
Yeah. If you want to
Fucking
donate.
T-shirts.
T-shirts, yeah. Say hello.
Hola.
Right. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, señor.
Muy bien, thank you.
That was racist.
Was that racist?
Probably.
Oh, man.
Neither one of us are Hispanic.
No, I'm too
Doesn't matter
big.
what I look like. I'm not Hispanic.
I'm too tall to be Hispanic.
You're too redheaded to be Hispanic.
I'm too redheaded. Although I am native.
I know, right? But I look native. I don't have a smidge. Not even a droplet. Not unless it soaked the great grandpa's skin. He was an Indian fighter, hired Indian fighter back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Right? Fucking opposite spectrums over here.
Yeah.
So
your great grandpa?
So my great grandpa might have killed your great grandpa in an Indian fight, or the other way around. No, my grandpa, he lived to be an old age.
Did he?
Yeah.
How much hair did he have on his head?
You know, I don't think he was ever actually scalped, but he got close a couple times. Some hardcore times back then, man.
Back on subject.
What subject?
Well, you had a couple things you wanted to discuss today.
Oh, forgot about that. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, actually I have quite a list of things today. Let's see, what do I want to go over first? Let's start with the national and worldwide protests that are going on.
Over the
against the
jab.
Yeah, the thing.
The thing.
You know, the thing.
The thing. And it's not like we're afraid to say it, but it's the...
You know, it's that stuff in the little pokey thing, and then they do
put
the
it
thing
up to
with
your
the
arm,
thing.
And then they do the thing and the thing.
And the thing.
And the swang.
Thong, thong. Where? Penny time! Billy's World!
We're leaving that one in.
Oh, shit. So anyway.
You're a misogynist. You're so sexist.
I know.
Why? Because I prefer one sex over the other? No, that doesn't make me a misogynist. That just makes me normal. You delusional Freudian mix-up of a person, you.
you know, the ones that scowl upon feminine and masculine roles in society, like,
Right.
you know, women cook and clean and take care of the kids and blah blah blah.
Yeah, and
Men hunt and fish and work and bring home the bacon. There's a reason those are
those roles are in that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not because per se that men think, oh well, women are here to serve me.
No.
No.
Not in the least. In fact, I bet you out of all the patriots that we have out there listening right now, that most of them, of the guys, have made their significant other dinner or a meal at one time or another.
Yeah.
And so does that make them a feminist because they're taking on a feminine role?
Right. I mean, since when is, you know, barbecuing's cooking? Men love to barbecue, so,
Yeah.
you know.
I love the barbecue. I love to burn things and make sure it's not edible.
Get out of the kitchen. Get out of my kitchen.
No, the other night I actually made dinner for my significant other, and we enjoyed it. You know, it was just one of those nights. She didn't feel like cooking, and I'm like, all right, I'm fine with that. I can cook, and I think that's my downfall. No. No, that's one of my greater assets that my own mother instilled within me, is that to go ahead and be able to cook, clean, shower, and do your own laundry. If you can do those 4 things, the rest of the day's already done. So I learned at an early age to start doing dishes and start cleaning around the house and dusting things and making sure the dust is off of everything, you know, in case company came over.
Yeah.
And that's when friends came by to visit and hang out at the houses and just chat, just generally have a conversation. Now it's all LOL, TY, YW, you know, he's, little emojis to express how you're feeling at the time or whatever, and nobody has a conversation anymore.
We talked about that one day.
Yeah.
We're like going back to hieroglyphics and pictographs.
And it's ridiculous.
And nothing against the Egyptians. Obviously, they were very sophisticated. Probably had better technology than we did. But we do things differently now.
Yes.
You know? And if we're going to go back to pictures on the wall, well, I've said it before, we're moving backwards as it is. You know, they're taking us back to...
We're regressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants to take accountability or all these progressives. All they're doing is trying to bring us back to the 1950s and 60s where segregation was commonplace. And if you think I'm wrong, how many times do you hear someone saying, you know, a patriot saying, well, I picked John over there because he's black. No, I picked him because he was a good worker, you know.
Exactly. It shouldn't be about the color of your skin or your preferred gender or, you know, whether or not your teeth are crooked. It should be about whether or not you can perform the job necessary. I had this conversation with my roommate, was it yesterday? We were talking about policing.
Right.
And I told her, I said, you know, I don't think that in general that women should be field police officers. Now, that said, there are always exceptions to the rules. If there is a female that can pass the same exact test that every man does,
right,
physically, emotionally.
Do you want a quality? Here's a quality. If you can pass the same test as your counterpart.
Exactly. The rules did not discriminate.
No.
The rules were set. You have to be able to do this, this, and this, and this.
Right.
Not because you have to be a man, but because these are the requirements to be able to do the job efficiently
and
necessary and as safely as possible.
Right.
For you and for whatever you're dealing with.
Right. Say firefighter for this particular example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, say a Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of us have seen the movie G.I. Jane.
Right.
Now, that movie's very unrealistic. However, in the movie, Jane passed because she could do what the guys could do.
Right.
Not because they dumbed the test down for her.
No.
They didn't make exclusions or anything or exceptions.
Right.
Because she was female.
No.
She became a SEAL in the movie because she did everything the guys did.
Right.
And in a lot of cases, then some.
Yeah, a lot better than a lot of the guys.
Some of that emotional trauma they put her through.
Right. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But if you can't pass the same test, you can't get in.
Right. It shouldn't matter on your color or sexual preference or anything. What it should matter on is whether or not you have the skill sets or the requirements to do the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, then leave it to somebody who does and who can.
Exactly. I mean,
they want equality. That's equality.
You wouldn't want someone to pass their nursing test because they were of a certain color or a certain gender or whatever.
Right.
But you want them to be able to do what's required.
Right.
You know, and say that person is a small person.
Yeah.
Like my roommate, right?
Right.
And she's a nurse. She's required to do things like a Heimlich.
Right.
If she can't get her arms around a person, does she have another tactic that is just as tactful, just as useful, efficient, and all of that?
And safe.
And safe to do a Heimlich, say, on a big dude.
Right.
When she's a small person and can't reach her arms around that dude.
Right.
In the proper position to do a Heimlich. If there's another tactic that is just as safe and efficient, and she can pass the test, so be it.
Right.
But if she doesn't have the means to pass that, she can't be a nurse.
Right.
So the same should go for any other field.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're a construction worker, a burger flipper, or
right,
a Navy SEAL.
And all these people want the equality of pay and $15 an hour and, you know, all that there. First of all, let's talk about the skill sets that are involved. You know, did you have to learn a trade? Did you have to go to some type of secondary school?
Okay, while we're on that subject, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that reminded me of something.
Okay.
So this little text group chat thing I got, my friends and I are in, right?
Right.
And some of them are friends of friends, so I don't know everybody. Let me find the text message here. So, she says, this was just this morning at 11. Another edict from Kate Brown. Severe shortage of substitute teachers. New requirements to be a substitute teacher. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
2 requirements. You must be 18 years old and pass a background check. That is it.
That's the only requirements?
The only 2 requirements.
Oh, jeez.
She says, boy, wasn't I a dummy. All I had to do was get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and take $2,000 worth of proficiency tests to get endorsements in my field. Man, the times have changed. The times are changing.
Yeah.
I mean, really? You have to be barely out of high school and not have committed a crime yet.
Right. So let's put you in a place where there's vulnerable people that you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you yourself are young enough that your mind is easily manipulated into doing what you're told.
Molded, yeah.
For whatever cause you think you're down for.
Right. Whatever they tell you that this is right, that's wrong, and that's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. 18 and pass a background check.
Yep.
Wow. In order for me to teach, I had to actually go to school and learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And after learning it and getting my degree in it, then I could teach the subject.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. But
It's the reason, probably one of the
wow, if
reasons
I
why my
would've-
dad's not a history teacher is because of the requirements
mhm.
to be one. Although my dad knew more history than some of
Well,
my history teachers.
yeah, exactly.
All but one. There was one that was even with him.
Wow.
They got along great. They passed each other back and forth.
History notes.
Trivia questions.
Oh, trivia questions?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So back to the protesting. Here I got New York Times. No, it's New York Post.
Okay.
Times Square stormed by anti-vaxxers protesting in New York City. Hundreds of anti-vaxxers flooded Times Square for a polarizing protest on Saturday. Wait, this was written September 19th, 2021. So, not quite a month ago.
Right.
But the event was probably a month ago. The one that they're talking about.
Right.
Mind you, this stuff is happening all over the country. And on a weekly, if not daily basis.
Correct.
In Portland alone, it's still happening, at least on a weekly basis. And they're trying not to talk about it.
I know. They're trying to keep it all hush-hush.
Even local to Oregon, they're trying not to talk about it.
Right. And it's ridiculous. Well, I'm looking at the New York Post online section under tag, and I looked up protests, and it came up with a couple different protests at the top of the screen. Now, this is as of October 17th, 2021, and it says on October 15th of 2021, I like kids better than people, President Biden said Friday after getting a hug from a toddler in Connecticut, while nearby protesters and activists yelled, "Let's go, Brandon."
Let's go, Brandon.
And also on the 15th, protests erupted in Italy as COVID-19 mandates come into effect. Police were out in force amid fears that anti-vaccination demonstrations could turn violent as Italy's anti-COVID measures, one of the strictest in the world, came into effect. Now, that's happening in Italy. And
Similar things happening in France.
similar things happening in France. And I know that if big old Joe, Dementia Joe there, if he ever tries to push his mandate,
Mm-hmm.
which he's trying to do right now,
Oh, yeah.
he's starting to see the results of that. Look at Southwest Airlines. They came
There was
to almost a complete
Another
halt.
one. Boeing,
Right.
Washington. Boeing workers staged protests near Seattle over U.S. vaccine mandate. And this is from
Routers.
Reuters.com. Reuters.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Routers.
Reuters.com. So there's another one just in the U.S.
Right.
I read one about Chicago too. I'm not finding it now, but yeah, in France, let's see, Australia's basically become a police state.
Yep.
People are getting arrested for being outside with a mask. I watched a video from, I think it was from Rebel News.
Mm-hmm.
This guy getting tackled to the ground and arrested because he wasn't wearing a mask while outside. Mind you, he was having a burrito with his girlfriend and was smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
He had 2 masks in his pocket.
Right.
He tried to state that to the officers. And they
And
tackled him anyway.
it's a show of force now.
Yeah.
Or a display of authoritarianism.
Well, and then I think it was in Massachusetts that a bunch of the state troopers are handing in their badges. Like
Yeah.
all at once they hand. I think
Yeah.
it was Massachusetts. And it was the state troopers. What's really sad to me, though, is that's leaving the willing to comply behind,
Yep.
the only ones left.
Yeah.
We are going to be in a militia state very soon.
Very soon.
Because America is not going to stand for a military state.
Nope. Did you hear that, General Milley? Let me repeat that.
You hear that, big guy?
The
Let's go, Brandon.
United States is not going to stand by and let a military coup come into effect. We're not going to be under a military dictatorship. So,
Good luck.
Mr. Millie, let's go, Brandon.
Someone was saying the other day, they listed 3 states. I think it was, I want to say Maryland, Maine, and Massachusetts or something like that.
Okay.
They were East Coast states, not real big ones, and I remember a couple of M's. Anyways, they listed 3 states from over there, and the states on the East Coast aren't very big.
No,
not like over here in the West.
No.
But they listed 3 states, and with those 3 states, you take the number of people that were registered to hunt this year.
Right.
That were registered. Not everybody that wanted to go hunting.
Right.
Everyone that registered.
It's like a lottery. You get a ticket or you don't.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you can't
So
go
everyone
hunting.
that got a hunting license this year,
Right.
from 3 states, was big enough that them alone was the 3rd largest army in the world.
Nice.
3 states, dude.
Nice.
And that's not everybody that wanted to get one and couldn't afford it or knew they wouldn't have the time because they had to work. You know what I mean? How many of those do we know?
Exactly.
All over the country.
Yeah.
So, the 3rd largest army in the world.
Out of 3 states.
Out of 3 states of America
And
that weren't even close to being the biggest states.
Right.
3 of the medium-sized ones from the East Coast. Bring it on! These colors don't run. Hey.
These colors don't run.
Oh, you got your shirt on for it today, too. Nice. These colors don't run. Oh, you got Deadpool on top of it, so yeah. Oh, you're wearing Punisher on your head, you nerd. Meanwhile, I'm wearing Star Wars. It says there has been an awakening. There has been an awakening.
Yeah, if you wake me up.
Like, we're
tell
watching
me
it.
what's for breakfast.
But you know, like the awakening we were talking about? We're literally watching it happen in real time.
Oh, yes.
You know? And it's kind of interesting. It was scary there for a minute, but now it's almost getting exciting in a way. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's on, baby. Bring on that apocalypse. I'm going steampunk on your ass.
I thought there was one other subject or a couple other subjects you wanted to tackle today.
Yeah, there is. So we covered the The Thing protests.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so. Yeah, this one just popped up, like, on my startup screen here.
Right.
It's from Rolling Stone magazine. They can't stop everyone, quote unquote. From GOP congressman who dangerously encourages kids to defy statewide school mask mandate. This was from 23 hours ago.
Yeah, but Rolling Stone has been known to be a left-leaning, way out there liberal media platform. So,
but think, how many people are reading this right now? Going,
I know.
Yes.
Well,
Rolling Stone
it's just
said...
a music magazine. It's not political. Wake up there, buddy.
Neither were masks until 2020.
Exactly. And now it's become all political. Or has it been so long that when we said we never forget that we've forgotten that, but we've also forgotten 15 days to flatten the curve.
We also seem to, many people, or at least the media, have already at least tried to forget what recently happened in Afghanistan.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just push that aside.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever random junk they're trying to yell about today, like, oh no, what did Joe Rogan do today because he has a free-thinking mind, how dare him?
Right.
Here's what they're really trying to distract us from with this stuff. A winged microchip.
Yes.
The smallest ever. If my internet will catch up with the rest of us.
Yes, winged microchips. You was discussing that earlier. You sent me a video on it earlier. I watched that. That was pretty interesting itself. And yeah, I think our privacy should be our own. But I also believe that when we're out in public, there is no expectation of privacy. So,
right. But when it comes to how much you drive your own vehicle to do whatever personal things you might be doing,
Right.
that's none of their business.
Exactly. They want to know who you are, where you're going, what stops you made, how much you purchased,
And they want to
and
tax
where
you
you
for
went.
it.
And they want to tax you all for it.
So, and this is all... Okay, so here's the thing. I'm linking in my brain the winged microchip that is as small as a grain of sand. I'm linking that with this other thing that I read today from Forbes.
Okay.
Infrastructure package includes vehicle mileage tax program.
Yep.
So, with something... we already have GPS.
Right.
We already have, all kinds of weird electronics on our vehicles.
Yes, we do.
Where they can track us, they can stop your car if they want.
Yeah.
Yay, OnStar. That already is going to allow them to track a lot of people. But what about the people that don't already have those fancy electronic cars with all the new controlling gadgets in it? Right. For those people, how are you going to track them?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
here
a
we
good
go.
question.
Northwestern University engineers have added a new capability to electronic microchips. Flight. Our goal was to add winged flight to small-scale electronic systems with the idea that these capabilities would allow us to distribute highly functional, miniaturized electronic devices to sense the environment for contamination monitoring, population surveillance, or disease tracking, says Northwestern's John A. Rogers. So, I read this, and then next thing I know, I'm reading about the infrastructure, fine lines and fine print about vehicle mileage tax.
Yeah.
And I'm like, interesting. So that's how they're going to track the rest of us who aren't going to, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and yet another invasion of our privacy.
Right.
I mean, this stuff is tiny enough you could breathe it.
I know.
We already know about chemtrails and stuff, whether they are admitting it this day or not. But, they have admitted in pieces in the past to spraying things in the air.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to stop them from spraying this in the air?
I grew up in California in the 70s, and they were spraying for the fruit fly at the time when the outbreak came around. Or supposedly for the fruit fly. They wanted everyone inside to go ahead and, stay inside, out of the way of this aerosol that they would spray in the air with helicopters flying over. And it was ridiculous. I survived that. And they say there's no such thing as chemtrails.
Well, clouds don't form in lines.
No.
And I see jets all the time. They don't leave streams behind them like that.
No.
Neither does a commercial airplane.
Nope. We live
Neither does a crop duster.
We live nearby to an air base, so we know what jets do and
farmland.
do not do. Yeah.
I know what a crop duster does. That stuff goes out and it falls.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stay in the air.
Right.
There's not a line sitting across the field out there.
I seen a video last night that this guy took with his cell phone of clouds forming in the sky in the shape of a perfect square. They were angled at 90 degrees.
I've seen some of those. The one I saw was this.
I will see if I can find it.
Yeah, it was like a perfect rectangle.
Yeah. So, but there's nothing to see here, folks. Let's distract you with this football game.
Yeah.
Let's distract you with some cheerleaders. Let's distract you with beer. Let's distract you with this. Let's distract you with that. Oh, someone's getting close to realizing the truth of what's going on. Let's distract them over here. We'll put the carrot over this way.
Let's do a spin on the truth, and we'll give them some kind of crazy narrative that gives them some kind of smidge of hope. Just enough that they have hope, but not enough that they'll actually do anything to achieve that hope.
Yeah. If you want real news, listen for key words that the
broadcaster is sending to you. I believe, in my opinion, I feel. If you listen to just those key words, you'll see that a lot of these so-called experts are experts in their field, but not what's really going on.
The problem is now, like, some of the ones like Don Lemon, they don't say, well, I think.
No.
Well, in my opinion, he says, well, this is, and that is.
And this is how you should feel about it. Yep. Because they use words like outrage, outraged Americans, outraged.
Yeah. Speaking of outraged Americans.
Let's get on to our final topic.
I'm going to get on to the final topic. Real quick, though, actually, this vehicle mileage tax, they're going to be taking, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This includes $10 million each year from 2022 to 2026 for a national vehicles miles traveled fee pilot program.
Right.
Pilot program. State and local pilot program. This includes $75 million provided to the federal government to provided from the federal government to regional, state, and local transportation agencies. The breakdown is $15 million provided each year.
Right. So
to test the idea of being able to tax us for where we go and what we do with our own vehicles and our own gas money.
Yeah. It's none of their damn business.
Exactly. And they're already trying to tax us more for this and that and everything else. Mr. I won't raise any taxes. Oh, that's funny, because, like, 4 days into your presidency, we had higher taxes than we've had since Obama. Huh. Weird.
Kind of funny how that happens,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. Well, I just know that we need a convention of states to ratify the Constitution to add an amendment that there should be a term limit on Congress members.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be able to make a career out of politics.
Nope.
If they want to serve their country, they can serve their country for 2 to 4 years. That's it.
You know, and really, I don't think it should be any different than the way we have our presidency set up.
Exactly.
Donald Trump can only run for 2 4-year spans.
Right.
Just like anybody else that runs for president. Why is it that Congress can stay till they're on their deathbed?
Exactly.
There's got to be term limits on stuff like that. Too many people will take advantage if there's not term limits.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
Alright, so back to enraged Americans. We're going to talk about Loudon County. Everybody's
Virginia.
loud about Loudon County right now.
Yes, they are.
Fox News, Loudon County prosecutor who sought to jail father of girl allegedly raped at school, tied to Soros.
Wow.
The Loudon County prosecutor who sought jail time against a father who was arrested at a school board meeting after his daughter was allegedly sexually assaulted in a school bathroom has ties to progressive mega donor George Soros and Democratic Virginia gubernatorial nominee Terry McAuliffe.
Yeah, the governor nominee.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? This is one I just pulled up because it popped up on my home screen. So the father they're speaking of is a man named Scott Smith, who was arrested during a school board meeting back in June. So we're going to read this one here about it from Patriot Post. Written by Tony Perkins. I don't know if we want to read the whole thing though. It's a long article. We can link it. It's titled A School Horror Story That Didn't Fit the Narrative.
Yep.
Loudon County tried to cover up a rape. When the phone rang, it was every father's worst nightmare. Come to campus, a school official said. Your daughter has been assaulted. No one told Scott Smith that she had been sexually assaulted, that a boy wearing a skirt had walked into the girls' restroom and raped his 15-year-old child. Then imagine your anger as a parent to find out that the school wasn't going to involve the police, that they had decided to handle the matter, which ended up being 2 counts of forcible sodomy, 1 count of anal sodomy, and 1 count of forcible fellatio.
Wow.
And the school had decided they were going to handle the matter internally.
Oh, that's never a good deal. When someone breaks the law like that,
Yeah.
you should hand it over to the authorities.
Exactly.
Law enforcement officers. Yeah.
What is their job?
I think I heard something about them.
Is it
before.
enforcing the law?
I think so.
The written law? Huh.
Wow.
What a concept.
Yeah.
For Scott Smith, this was unimaginable. Standing in the Stonebridge High School office, blind with rage, he demanded they call the police. They finally did. On him. I went nuts, he remembers. 6 cop cars showed up like a SWAT team. Later that night, after a hospital rape kit confirmed that what his daughter had insisted all along, the school's principal sent out an email explaining the incident with Scott, never mentioning what had happened to his daughter and where. Even when the attacker was formally charged, administrators kept quiet. A month later, at a local school board meeting, Smith, like a lot of parents, sat in shock as the new superintendent responded to the fury over Loudon County's radical transgender policies by insisting that nothing harmful had ever come of them. To my knowledge, Scott Ziegler said, we don't have any record of assaults occurring in our restrooms. It's important to keep our perspective on this, he went on. We've heard it several times tonight from our public speakers, but the predator transgender student or person simply does not exist. Smith was irate and tried to debate the point, but was hauled out of the meeting by officers and charged with disorderly conduct. I don't care if he's homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, transsexual. He's a sexual predator. Period. End of story. I mean, I don't understand what the debate is here, people.
Well, the debate is this, is that the school district has actually opened themselves up to a mega $1 million lawsuit.
Yep.
1, for falsifying documents. 2, for violating somebody's First Amendment rights.
Yes.
That's freedom of speech. They are allowed to speak out.
In a weird way, it's even withholding information from an officer.
Right. Yeah. It's called obstruction.
Obstruction, yes.
I know a little bit about the legal system.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I had a little experience with them.
Same. Oh. So, what gets me is just the fact that this is even a subject.
Right.
This even happened, that he is now a domestic terrorist because he was standing up for the well-being of his child.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
That's ridiculous. And next they're getting the FBI involved.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else. So I hope for everyone's safety, and I hope for everyone to come at peace within themselves over the matter. But I also hope that Mr. Smith goes ahead and sues the crap out of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another interesting note. The kid that was accused of that one.
Right.
Went to a different school. And within
again.
Just here recently.
Right.
Was accused of it again.
Right. That's a sexual predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's someone taking
within less
revenge.
than 6 months.
Yes.
He has assaulted 2 girls.
Right.
If people don't see where this whole gender equality thing is going, where they're really taking this.
Right.
You are blind as a freaking bat in the sunlight.
Exactly. But don't trust us. Do your own research. Look up at the articles. We'll provide links down below. And come to your own conclusions. I know how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? That's what I want to know. Leave a comment down below.
And I think we all need to be louder about our opinions with this stuff, you know? Whether it's voicing it in person to somebody, you know, maybe we can try to come up with some tips on how we can all start talking to people about this stuff.
Right.
You know, civil ways that we can approach it where, you know, hopefully we can do as little as possible to offend. Although some people are just too snowflakey, they'll melt right away.
Yeah, if you look at them, they start getting offended.
Yeah. You know, but we need to be able to talk about this stuff.
Right.
And so many people are quiet about it. Not necessarily because they don't have an opinion, but people have become complacent.
Yes.
And I think we really need to not just look at history, but look at what's happening in the world right now.
Right.
Look at Australia.
Yeah.
This is where complacency is going to get you.
Yep.
And if we continue to be complacent, our freedom is gone.
Right.
Everything, I mean, nothing's going to be the same as it is.
Right.
We have entered a new era. A whole new era. But it's going to change either for the extreme bad or the extreme good.
Right.
And what we do as American citizens, we are literally Captain America right now.
Right.
Every one of us. We are a piece of that character.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a patriot, you are Captain America. And we, as a society, are him. And the rest of the world is waiting for us to save them.
Right.
For us to stand up and say, this isn't okay. Because, and I'm not saying that because I'm conceited because I'm an American and we're the best. Although we are. But I'm not saying that to be some kind of conceited, egotistical American.
Right.
I'm saying it because we are the last stand for freedom.
Yep.
And the rest of the world knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably better than we do.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And if this whole obvious global control that's going on, if they can control us,
right,
nobody else has any hope. Because they don't have the freedoms to stand on that we do.
Exactly.
They don't have, many of them don't have even the First Amendment right, or even anything similar.
Exactly.
You know, they're supposed to have something similar in England and in Australia, but we see where that's going right now.
Yeah.
Their freedom of speech means nothing. Same with Canada.
Yep.
Okay? But we have the freedom to bear arms.
Yes.
Our Second Amendment protects our First. That one thing alone we have above everyone else.
Yep.
No one else has that. No one else has the freedom to own their own firearms, their own weapons. In Australia, you even have to have a permit and license or some crap to own a chef's knife.
Wow.
So, you know, as Americans, we don't always realize how free we really are.
Exactly.
And how unfree the rest of the world is.
Right.
So
they accept it as a norm because that's normal for them.
But as they're looking in at America, they're like, they're the only ones that have a real, honest to goodness chance at standing against this.
Right.
And if America can't stop this,
who can?
Who can?
Exactly.
So, we are the heroes of this story. Every single one of us.
Yep.
I don't care how cliche or cheesy that sounds. We are the heroes of our own stories. And this, right now, this is our story.
Right.
The story of America.
And I'm not going to ask, you know, Republicans. I'm not going to ask Democrats. I'm going to ask patriots. Those who identify as an American to stand up.
Yep. I identify as an American patriot.
Yep.
It's our other t-shirt.
So I think that's all we have for today for you. If you like what you listen to, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification icon so you'll be notified whenever a new episode comes out.
Hit that bell. Smack it.
Smack that bell. Ooh, Daddy.
Hi, Papi.
And don't forget to just, Do your own research.
Yeah.
Think and question everything.
And we link everything that we can for you guys, so you can always read the full articles for yourselves, make your own interpretations, and let us know what you think. We want to know your guys' opinion and any articles that you guys
want us to cover.
Yeah, just let us know. Send us a link, send us the videos.
And we'll include it in an upcoming episode. Thank you and farewell.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You know what they saying, ho? Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Damn it, Billy. Give me back my liquor.